years ago compared to like now, and how things were different when you guys were our age. And
Okay.
okay, so first question, do you notice any differences or changes in people now than when you guys were younger?
I think people are a little more open-minded now. Back then, things were, kind of cut and dried. You didn't have much latitude. You kind of had to go by the letter of the law,
Yeah. Any?
I think the difference is we didn't have any of this stuff. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have. We wrote letters, and we had to call on a rotary phone.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have instant contact with our friends.
Okay.
So that's a big change I see.
What was education like? Was college an option for you guys?
Yes, I went to college. Not quite 2 full years. Didn't care for it. But it was there.
But don't listen to him. And I really never considered college. I got married and had kids, and it wasn't. Both couples in a marriage, both partners didn't usually work if you had kids. Yeah.
Okay.
Usually it was more common for the mom to be at home.
If, say you weren't married, would college, would you?
Yeah, I would.
College? Okay. How did the time that you were born affect your job opportunities? Could you have done anything you wanted, do you think?
Probably not without education, but you could always get a job at a hamburger place like a McDonald's. My first job was at Herpes Drive-In in Bellingham, and it was kind of a forerunner to McDonald's. There weren't any McDonald's there. It was a college town. It was right down the hill from campus, so it was the hot spot.
Okay.
That's what my first job was.
We had limited opportunities unless you had an education.
Okay.
Growing up on the farm, I always kind of had it in the back of my mind that I didn't want to be a farmer, but when the time came, it was something that was desirable to me. And, having not finished college, like I said, my opportunities were limited.
Okay. Do people seem closer, or are they more divided now than they were back when you guys were younger?
Everybody had their opinions back then also. It's something that freedom of America, freedom of speech and everything, it was alive and well back then.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like someone took issue with every single thing that comes up, and that was nice. We didn't have to.
Yeah.
That
makes sense.
Yeah.
Do people have it easier now, do you think?
I don't think so. I think the world today is so much more complex, and you can't hide anything, and it's just everything's out in the open, and it's I think it's tougher now.
I think I grew up at the best possible time. I think my childhood was great. We didn't have a lot, but we were very secure, with our families, and not a lot of pressure. I think you have more pressure now than we did.
Okay. Do you see differences in parenting and discipline these days than you did then?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Back then, it was the threat of getting your butt paddled, and we had my parents kept a leather strap on top of the refrigerator, and that was always, you know, you kids straighten up or you're going to get the strap. And they weren't afraid to use it, and it wasn't child abuse, you know.
Yeah.
The old saying, spare the rod and spoil the child wasn't adhered to. I mean, it was adhered to. I mean, people weren't afraid of it, where today you get put in jail.
We did get swatted if we needed to, and that was something I didn't desire to have done. So I was a good kid, and at school, if you got a SWAT, everybody knew, and it was. I would think it would have been very embarrassing, but it deterred a lot of misbehavior because of that threat. So, and mom and dads didn't come in and complain about everything. If the school said, then they agreed usually with what the school said.
Okay. Last question. If you could tell our generation one thing, what would it be?
I would say don't forget your past and the past that we went through, because there's a lot of lessons to be learned there, and you know, you got to look towards the future, but remember the lessons of the past.
Now, I would say, you know, reach for the moon. You might get over the backyard fence, so don't shortchange yourself. Go for it. So you don't have any regrets like that.
All right. Do you see any differences and or changes in the people these days than back?
Can't really say much for how people, personality-wise, have changed. Well, people are a lot more vibrant and not as so private. I mean, everything's online, but also people act different, they dress different, a lot of things like that.
Okay. What is education like for you now? Will college be an option for you?
College is the only option. If I don't go to college, it'll be bad.
Okay. How did the time that you were born affect your job opportunities?
Now there's more jobs than ever, and I'm just a student, so there's more jobs than ever, so I'll have pickings of any job that I want just based on education. If I get a college degree.
Do you think people seem closer now or more divided now than back in the day?
And I mean, we're not old enough to really see that, but from what we see and from what we can tell, people are pretty divided.
Okay.
Do people have it easier, and describe why, yes or no?
I don't think people have it easier. Everything is online and everything is out on the web, so you can't really, there's no secrets, you can't keep anything hidden. And as far as like education, graduating from high school back in the day could get you a lot farther than it does now. Now you're expected to go to college, and you have to go to college if you want to get a good job.
Do you see differences in the way your grandparents parented and the way your parents punish you or discipline you?
Not with my parents, I don't think. There was a lot of discipline when I was growing up. But I think maybe in other families, yes, because a lot of families these days don't punish their kids. There's no discipline.
If you could tell our generation one thing, what would it be?
Just to enjoy it while it lasts, because it goes pretty dang fast.